When I was in college back in 2013, I remember it being the technological era of designing for delight. The idea was simple. We could think of the measure of an experience on a scale from frustration to delight, with the middle of the scale being neutral. Neutral experiences were not necessarily bad, but they weren't remarkable either. Through meeting with customers and looking at the hard data, we could better understand where exactly the feature was falling short, and intentionally design it to be better, for it to be delightful. Delight was the gold standard we all strived for, and after all, what better way to serve people than to bring them joy when using the digital experiences we designed? This idea became so widely known in the tech industry that many articles, frameworks, and even books were written about it. But what if it's not always appropriate for digital experiences to be delightful? Just like in the physical world, life is not always happy, and that's okay. Fast forward about a decade later, with the worldwide rise in mental health issues and the onset of the global pandemic in 2020, it became clear that designing for delight was no longer a useful idea. Sometimes experiences aren't delightful, and they really shouldn't be. Aaron Walter, product design leader and author, who famously wrote the book Designing for Emotion back in 2011, where the ideas of designing for delight were published, revised the book in 2020 and republished it, this time with a very important idea: design for all emotions. In Aaron's words, in the midst of a global pandemic and social unrest, with the backdrop of technology feeling increasingly adversarial and a collective realization that the internet that brought us together also has the power to tear us apart, it's time we acknowledge that designing for delight falls woefully short in feeding the needs of the human spirit. In his revised book, he explores this new idea that has helped companies design successful products by inspiring trust, reducing fear and anxiety, creating a sense of belonging, and delighting at just the right moments. One good example of a company using the designing for all emotions idea, which he references in the book, is with the tax filing software company TurboTax. Although tax season is not usually anyone's favorite time of the year, for people who experienced a loss of a loved one, it can be especially challenging. Seeing the names of people who are no longer around can create deep sadness, and inside of the depths of a tax preparation software, it can feel dehumanizing. With this in mind, the TurboTax design and product teams designed an experience to thoughtfully acknowledge this loss when relevant to their customers through using well-written and appropriate messaging. And on the flip side, companies we all look up to for design inspiration can still miss the mark sometimes. I found this tweet recently from Amy Hoop, who is a design systems and content design consultant, where she questioned if the content design was appropriate from an email that was sent to her after booking a stay on Airbnb. The upbeat and enthusiastic tone she read from the email didn't sit quite well with her when she considered the fact that some people may be booking a stay to travel for a funeral, visit a sick loved one, or even vacate a flooded home, just for a few examples. This begs the question further around how we as designers can better design experiences for more people. One idea Amy offers in the post is that Airbnb could consider writing more neutral content so that the copy doesn't imply the experience is going to be a positive or challenging trip for the traveler. But I'm not completely sold this is the right solution either. I'm often very happy to receive that pack your bags sort of email. What if instead Airbnb knew what sort of trip someone was taking? They could then follow up with a much more appropriate content strategy and connect more deeply with the traveler using their product. I think we will continue to see more personalization in product and design with these sorts of use cases in mind, because the truth is, designing for emotions means designing for the full spectrum of emotions and meeting people where they are. Delight is not always the best way forward, because it's not always what's best for people and not always best for the business, and that's okay. As you grow in your career as a designer, I want to encourage you to recognize when the digital experiences you are designing for require this sort of consideration. Through good interaction design, content design, and user research, you too can design better digital experiences for all emotions. Learn much more about this idea and how to communicate it clearly with stakeholders through reading Aaron's book, Designing for Emotions Revised. I'll make sure to include a link in the description below if you'd like to check it out. If you've made it to the end of this video, hello again. Or goodbye soon, since this is the end. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting the like button, and if you want to learn more from me about product design and careers in tech, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.